Okay, so first time I've done one of these in a little while. Just wanted to record this quick video here, mainly for two reasons. First reason being, I get a lot of people ask me what it is I actually do, what my business is, so I'm going to explain that in just a moment here. And second thing is, primarily why I wanted to do this video initially is just so I can look back in 2 years or so from now and actually watch back and see what I'm doing now in the business versus what I'm going to be doing then. Okay, just a, I guess, bit of a sentimental kind of thing, I suppose. Now, to answer the first question, what it is I actually do, what my business is. So we run a lead generation agency. Okay, we work with real estate agents primarily in the US. That's the main bulk of the business. Now, what is lead generation? Some of you might be asking. Lead generation is essentially generating sales leads of someone who's potentially interested in selling their property. Okay, that's what it is in real estate. But then sell it on to a local real estate agent in the given area. Okay, wherever we're working with at that time. Now we sign on a lot of agents. Our model, we operate like a pay-per-lead model. Okay, so we basically just charge the agent for each lead that we send them. We sign on a lot of clients. So last week we signed on about 100 agents. So the business is really, really booming. And I just want to come on here and just talk about a few sort of topics, I guess, lessons I've learned along the way so far. Now, by no means am I kind of, I guess, successful or whatever like that. I'm still very, very early on in the business. We're just about under 200K per month at the moment. Okay, we're just about to hit it. But you know, I thought I'd just come on here to share a few, I guess, lessons for people a little bit earlier on in the journey, or just kind of topics I've done. They're going to be completely random, not really any correlation between each other, but just a few things I thought would be nice to talk about. Now, first thing before I go into that, I want to talk about my role in the business versus my business partner, Will's. Okay, now a lot of you know William Howarth. You would have seen him on my Instagram, on YouTube, whatever. We run all our business together. Now we've got two different roles really. Okay, so my role is more biz ops. Okay, so I work more on the efficiency side of the business, finances, just making sure as we grow, everything stays together nicely, we grow smoothly. Second part of my role is working on projects. Okay, now this might be, you know, we decide we want to go into this niche or that niche or whatever niche. It's okay, what are we going to need to go into that niche? How does the back end look? How does the front end look? You know, what do we need to do? What kind of brand are we going to run under this? Everything like that, I'm going to be what I focus on. Now, Will focuses primarily on RevOps. Okay, now actually growing the bulk of the business, the front end side. So that's the sales, the appointment setting, everything like that. Okay. Sorry, I have to pause the music there. Now, yeah, so Will focuses more on the RevOps side of things. I focus more on the BizOps. So he basically scales everything up, and I just make sure we have the facilities to actually support the clients that we're actually signing on. Okay, so that's our roles at the moment. And it's going really well. You know, we're managing each side of the company very well. I work more with the service side guys, obviously, the CSMs as well, and the ops manager. Will works more with the sales managers, setter managers, everything like that. We've got a massive team now of about 50 people at the moment. So, you know, we've each got a different parts to manage. Now, first topic I want to talk about really quickly here is delegation. Okay, building a team, what that actually involves, what that looks like at a high scale. And first thing really, I noticed all of these sort of internet gurus, whatever, you guys know who, they kind of, a lot of them promote sort of like this one-man band operation, which I just fundamentally disagree with. I think really, especially in the early stages when you're completely new and you've got complete lack of skills, it is worth hiring someone for particular roles, as when you spend all day long just doing one particular thing, you're going to get very, very good at that. Okay, so you know, rather than you doing sales, appointment setting, ops, fulfillment, customer support, whatever, if you just focus on a few of those rather than the whole thing, that will allow you to get very good at those. And I'm not saying neglect them, don't kind of, you know, learn them to start with. It is very important to learn them, but you're not going to get perfect at any of them because you've got all these other things going on which will be taking up your headspace. Now, obviously, very, very early on, sales is obviously the only thing you're going to be doing, like if you've got no clients and you've got no fulfillment. So there is that, but as soon as you kind of reach sort of the, I guess, like 10, 20K a month stage, 100% getting in a sales rep will take off so much time off your hand, and you can really hone in on these other aspects in the business, okay? Because sales, to be honest, it is pretty kind of, as like a founder, as a CEO, is a pretty low ROI task to be doing, okay? It takes up, hours of your day. It's very unpredictable as well. You don't know if a client's or a prospect's gonna show up to the call or not. So spending all day long just sitting on these calls, and then if they don't show, okay, you can do this, but they might show, they might not show. It's very unpredictable, okay? So rather than doing that, having a rep is really good, and that's something I'm glad we did quite early on, as it allowed me to focus more on building other parts of the business, okay? Second thing on delegation, I'll just kind of mention what a great thing we found as well is CSMs. Okay, we've got, I think, how many do we have now? I think we have we've got 3 CSMs. Yeah, 3 CSMs and an ops manager. Okay, and the ops manager, he manages all the CSMs. And honestly, they are so good. They are so good. Hiring a CSM is such a great hire, as rather than dealing with all the client, like complaints, support, onboardings, everything like that, having someone else to do that it just takes so much time off your hands. So I'd really recommend hiring one of them. I mean, not very early on, but as soon as you kind of find it's kind of taking away from stuff you want to do, like the big projects, really growing the business, then I would 100% recommend hiring a CSM. That's it really for delegation. Like, honestly, it's just something you've got to be thinking about all the time. Like, if you really want to be growing your business as best as possible, like, just think, like, is the task I'm doing right now, is this a high ROI task or a low ROI task? And if it's a low ROI task, outsource it, okay? If it's a high ROI task, do it, focus all your energy on doing that. Just spend all your time, all your day just doing the highest ROI tasks, and allocate everything else to, someone else. Now, next topic I wanted to speak about is the whole, thing of mentorships, courses, gurus, whatever, everything like that. Coaches, you guys know them all. I'm not going to drop names, you know who they are. But I just want to talk about them and sort of my take on mentors. Now, I've had some great mentors that have offered these services to YouTube, etc., all of that, and they've been really good to me, to be honest. But if I'm being 100% brutally honest on here, I have to say where I've got the most value is just basically finding people who run these businesses. Okay, so for me, run like lead generation businesses, they're doing really well, and just, to be honest, sending them a DM on Instagram saying like, can you jump on a call for an hour? I'll pay you, whatever your hourly rate is, like $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour, whatever. I'll pay you this, and can you just literally show me what your process is? And I have got so much value from doing that, okay? Way more value from doing that than any other kind of course, mentorship, anything at all, okay? Like, I cannot stress like how great those calls have been. And what's more is I've probably spent far less money, okay? I spend like tens of thousands on kind of courses, mentors, whatever, and I've probably only spent like 10K-ish, maybe on these various kind of 1 hour calls, but the ROI from those versus like the courses, the gurus, etc., is just ridiculous, okay? Make way more money from those. So what I'd say is find people in your industry who are doing what you do, or maybe not exactly what you do, because they might be a little bit hesitant to share if you're going to be direct competitors, but do something similar to what you want to do, at least I suppose on the service side, maybe a slightly different niche. I would find those people and just contact them and afterpay them for like an hour of their time on a call. Okay, it would be so worth it, trust me. And now, third topic I wanted to discuss is this whole monk mode lifestyle that people have going on. Okay, now don't get me wrong, I've tried it. I've tried the monk mode. I've tried, locking myself in a room for hours and hours and hours on end when I was early on, making those cold calls, doing those dials. But to be honest, like, it just doesn't give you the same return, okay? I found the best return possible has been when I found that balance between sort of like the work and the fun. I know a lot of people talk about it. It's a bit of a, I suppose to some extent, a bit of like a matrix conversation, matrix topic. But honestly, like, the more I've been kind of like having fun and doing other things other than just work is when my business has grown the most. And to me, that speaks volumes, and this is just me and my past experience. Like, other people, maybe, I don't know, Charlie Morgan might see something different, and he definitely would, and kudos to him, like he's done very well. But for me, what I found at least, and especially guys who want to build like more of like a lifestyle business rather than, like a gigantic kind of empire business, then having that sort of work and fun works for me really, really, really well, as I just know during the week I'll get all the stuff done, and in like an evening or on the weekend, whatever, I can actually have a bit of fun then. It just works really well, at least in my experience. And I just do see a lot of these guys who are, hovering below sort of like 30, 40, 50K a month, like below that. And I just like, one thing I notice over and over and over again is that they're following this like really strict routine. They're like, getting up at this time each day, they're going to gym, and that's all great stuff. And then they're doing all this stuff, but they're just not having any fun as well, okay? And I just see it so many times, and I can't help but think, like, is there some sort of correlation there between that? And I hang out with the guys doing 100, 200K, 300K plus, and they're having a bunch of fun all the time. So it's, finding that sort of sweet spot. I'm not saying to go off on a massive boozer for like 2 weeks, okay? Don't do that. But find like that sweet spot of balance there, as you need to enjoy life as well. Especially as like, I'm guessing most people watching this, like, guys in their early 20s, like, you're gonna regret it if you don't. Okay, so 100% do that. Now, final thing I just wanted to talk about here is closers, sales reps. Okay, this is my sort of picture at the end. I'm not selling you anything. Instead, I maybe want to hire you. We are hiring sales reps all the time. Okay, if you think you could be a sales rep for us, okay, then please click the link below or send me a DM on Instagram. Okay, the link below will take you like a video, explain a bit more about the business, what we do, how it works, what your role will be. If you think that sounds like you, then fill out the type form application below that, and we'll potentially be in contact, set up an interview. Speaking of interviews, that's another hire we've made. We've hired a HR guy, like a hiring manager, and he's doing like, interviews all day long basically. And that's been a really great ROI for Will actually, as now rather than seeing all these kind of interviews sometimes of people who have no idea what they're doing, no offense to them, then he's actually instead able to focus on big needle movers, I'm not going to say what, in the sales side of things. But yeah, that's what I really wanted to talk about for now. I'll see how this one goes, how it looks on the other side, and I'll maybe do another one of these on some other topics I'm going to talk about. But yeah, this is the first one in a while, and yeah, talk soon.